Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am Matt, this is V. With Valentine's Day right around the corner, we thought we would show you the lighter side of Matt and V.
We did 10 things I hate about you, and now we are going to do 10 things that I love about you most of the time.
Yeah, we don't just irritate and hate each other. We actually do love each other as well. I've even seen comments before that people are like, I don't even know if they like each other that much.
Really?
But we do, most of the time.
Most of the time.
When she's not farting.
When he's not being a dick.
So what we did, like our 10 things I hate about you video, we each wrote out 10 things, little things, big things that we love and adore about each other. And we're gonna give those to you guys right now so you can get to know us just a little bit better.
So number one for me is when I was in nursing school, it was absolutely so hard on our family, and Matt supported me through the entire thing. And then right after I got out of nursing school, I went straight to working night shift, 12-hour nights, 3 days a week. And you supported me through that. So thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm a trooper. My number one is how she helps me with my son. Now, being a dad, I'm not very good at mom type things. Not to act sexist, but I'm just not very good at getting his laundry done or packing his lunch in the morning. I forget stuff. I suck at it. And I would be royally screwed if I didn't have her, and if she didn't, treat Owen as one of her own and help me out in the mornings or whatever, getting him ready. And so that's one thing that I've always definitely appreciated.
Number two is when he does play Mr. Dad, and he helps me on the nights that I work. He helps me get Kylie and all her friends to gymnastics, and he makes sure that the kids have dinner, and I just really appreciate that and love that about you.
Yeah, I think the gymnastics girls all like me better than you.
They probably do.
I'm like the funny soccer
The cool
dad.
one.
Okay, my number two is how she laughs at my dumb jokes and she actually thinks I'm funny sometimes. Now, I, as you guys know, have been married before. I've also had a few other serious girlfriends, and a lot of them just didn't really understand my humor. They would get offended very easily at my humor because I keep a straight face, or they just thought I was stupid. I mean, I could think of one that just always told me, "You're not funny." See, she laughs at anything I say, and
It's funny.
And so that is one thing that I've definitely always appreciated. And in some ways it might be good for me. In some ways it might be bad because she might make me think that I'm funnier than I actually am. But she laughs at basically anything I do.
Especially when you hurt yourself.
Well, yeah, that's not even purposeful, but yes.
Number three, as far as physical characteristics, I'm a very tall girl. I'm 5'8". Matt's 6'3", so I love that he's tall. I also like a guy with good hands. He's got good hands, and you have kind eyes.
Kind eyes.
Yes.
I've never really heard that one before. Yeah, but why didn't you say anything about my small mouth? I thought you loved my small mouth.
It's okay.
My small little
I love your butthole mouth.
endearing butthole mouth. My number three is her smile and teeth. My whole life, I've tended to be the type of person that when I'm looking at someone, I look at their mouth. Funny because I have a stupid, ugly mouth, but I am like picky about other people's mouths. I just always seem, that's where my eyes go. It doesn't go to their eyes. It doesn't go to anything else. I always look at their mouth for some reason. And teeth bug me sometimes, or like a weird smile. And and one thing I was always impressed about with hers was her smile and her beautiful teeth.
Thanks. Number four is your willingness to try new things and be adventurous when we go on trips. Matt and I love to travel and go see new places, and I've never been with somebody who's been like adventurous and like willing to try anything once and just have a good time when we go on trips. We just have a really good time together.
My number four is dead ass. I have always been an ass man more than a boob man. Asses are important to me, and I like her ass.
Thanks.
Enough said.
Number five for me is your ability to be extremely empathetic towards other people. Whenever I have an issue with somebody or I'm venting to him, he always puts himself in other people's shoes, and he'll be like, well, why did they do that? And you got to think about, like, put yourself in their shoes, and you know what I mean? I'm having a hard time
I think
explaining
it's important for me to understand why somebody acts a certain way, not just think, oh, that person's awful because they did this, or oh, that person's awful because they did that. Usually there's like deeper reasons and deeper motives. I mean, I think most people are like inherently good, but why are they acting the way that they do?
Yeah, and that helps me not jump to conclusions, and it just helps me myself be more empathetic towards people and try to put myself in their shoes. So I really appreciate when you put me in my place when I'm about to Slap a bitch.
Slap a bitch. My number 5 is that she's always been supportive of me with career changes. When we first started dating, I had a steady job. I was selling advertising and worked for a paper and magazine, although not that industry is really steady anymore. But when I decided to do YouTube full time with our other channel and whatnot, she was supportive of it and never tried to talk me out of it or never tried to tell me, oh, I need to go get a real job or anything like that, like a lot of viewers do.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have a real job? And it's worked out. So having somebody that I guess believes in you and trusts you makes you try just that much harder to be successful at what you're trying to achieve. Because there's a good chance that if I was single and trying to do this, I would maybe not succeed. Well, besides the fact that everyone only subscribes because of you, but...
Number 6 is he does not fart in front of me, and he still tries to hide the fact that he takes a dump. Like, he still runs the water and everything, and I think that's cute that he still wants to kind of impress me.
Well, part of that is because
ass.
part of that is because she gives me a complex. Because if she ever does hear a little a toot or a little plop in the toilet, the whole house fills up with her laughter. Just and so I don't want that embarrassment, and so I try to mask it. The funny thing is that she was that way with me until we moved in together, and then she just
hell broke loose.
Yeah, has no problem saying, "Oh, I got to go take a fat dump," or "Oh, sorry, I just ripped ass under our covers." But if I did it, you'd be like, "Ugh, I can't believe you just farted in front of me."
True story.
So backwards. It's so backwards. Why am I the cuck man of this relationship? My number 6 is her sense of humor, and she doesn't take life too seriously. Kind of goes together with her always laughing at me, but she's one of those types of people that, yeah, she can be moody sometimes or sometimes she can be grumpy, but she does snap out of it pretty fast. And she's got a really good sense of humor and can make light of a lot of situations that, some other people might not be able to handle.
Number 7 for me is every night when we go to bed, I put my head in his lap, and it's not like that.
Well, once in a while. It's like
and he rubs my head and rubs my hair and stuff every single night to help me go to sleep.
Dang it.
Turn your phone off.
Well, but usually I request like a 5-minute shoulder rub first from you.
It's compromise.
It's sharing. Sharing is caring. My number 7 is she puts up with my idiosyncrasies. I do have a few things about me that are definitely quirks.
Like you're fucking messy.
Okay, but so are you. So you really just can't say anything. But
you get obsessed with things and talk about it 24/7. Like right now, it's flashlights and knives.
Little things though. Okay, like for example, I have always, my whole life, really obsessed about the doors being locked.
Yeah.
And I sometimes will say multiple times if she's still upstairs and letting the dog out to go potty,
Make sure you lock the
the
door,
door, please.
deadbolt.
Lock the door, please. I grew up in Washington and I did live in the city for a while. And, you have friends that have gotten places broken into and stuff. And it's just always been ingrained in me. And her, being more of a country girl, just doesn't really care about that stuff. But she puts up with things like that. And she...
I do it to shut you up.
And she does do it to shut me up. Although there are a few things that I obsess over that she just doesn't do just to fuck with me. Like letting the dog chew bones on her bed. She knows that drives me nuts, and she just does it because it drives me nuts.
It's funny.
Yeah, so there's freaking dog crumbles from those stupid little bones all over the place. Oh, God. Anyway, this is a love video, not a hate video. Okay,
number
8
8 for me is he makes me laugh, and that kind of goes with your one that you said about me, that I laugh at everything that you do. But he does. He just makes me laugh. He's got a sick sense of humor like I do. He has also a very dry sense of humor, which I can appreciate. And yeah, you just make me laugh.
Also, I'm the best freestyle singer and rapper in Montana.
True, you are.
Just haven't brought that out yet on video.
We will, though, one of these days.
We'll see. My number 8 is her drive to make herself better. And she's also humble about it. But, I think a lot of people just kind of sit down where they're at and just go with life, but they don't they're not always trying to better themselves. She, decided she wanted a better life for her daughter and her and went to nursing school at the age of, late 20s before she met me. And she has an open mind when it comes to other points of view as far as politics or social issues or whatever. And so instead of just having these hard and fast, this is what I was taught by my parents, or this is what I think and I'm not ever bending or whatever, she is like constantly trying to learn more about things and will like alter her viewpoints depending on what she's educated with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Basically, she was kind of a stupid hillbilly before she met me, and I have
That is
enlightened
not
her.
true.
I'm kidding.
Number 9 for me is that you have a drive to always learn and better yourself as well. I put that down on my list. When you are passionate about something, you do more research than is necessary, but you dive so deep into it until you know like everything about it. Like YouTube, like he wanted to better this channel and his other channel, so he learned about lights and he learned about cameras and lenses and all that stuff.
I do that with stupid things that don't matter too.
You know, like everything about it.
I get stuck on a topic and I go down the rabbit hole and I'll read, you know, like I'm really into history. And so I'll go back and forth between getting really into it and then kind of leaving it alone for a month or two. And then I get into, you know, like more like war history and research and like, and then I obsess about it and I need to learn more and more and more and more. I mean, I obsess about things too much when I'm wanting to learn something.
But you're very smart.
My number 9 is that she's never given me shit about my weight. My whole adult life, I tend to fluctuate a lot with weight. I can gain weight really easily and I can lose weight really easily. The last 2 years, I've been gaining it really easily. I've kind of gone up and down in other relationships too. And that was one thing that like my ex-wife, like it really bothered her. And I get it. Like, you know, you want your mate to like be healthy or be in good shape or whatever. But the way my ex-wife like went about it, definitely like very like demeaning. And it wasn't like upbuilding or anything like that. It was, you're fat, I'm not attracted to you. Blah, 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 blah. And she's never been like that. And she's just always been accepting. Not to say I could be like 400 pounds and she'd all of a sudden be okay with it.
True.
I mean, it's hard enough to find my dick now. I'm kidding.
Number 10 for me is that he's a family man and he's loyal and faithful to his family. I've dated guys before where I couldn't really trust them. They always went out to the bars and they went drinking with their friends. Not to say that that's wrong or anything, but they put themselves in situations where they could cheat or whatever. Anyway, my point is that Matt is extremely loyal to his family. He's faithful to us. He's a family man. He puts his family first. He takes care of us, and I just really appreciate that.
Put that
I'm a
in
little
check.
family man. He's such a family man.
I keep you guys in check. Well, a lot changes when you have kids, too. Mm-hmm. You definitely settle down. You don't care as much about going out or, like, what's the newest thing in the social scene or whatever. Things change.
You feel like you're missing out by not going out.
And that's kind of like why I've turned into more, this dad life. I have stupid hobbies and stuff, and I care more about things like that than like when you're younger, all you care about is like working to make money and using that money for fun.
Yeah.
Like using that money, and I still use money for fun, but I mean like using that money for going out.
I think one of the reasons why we have worked so well together is because we both have a child from a previous relationship, so we're both kind of on that same playing field.
We were in the same spots in our life, and like, so we've grown that way. Mm-hmm. And that's part of why it's so tough when people get into serious relationships when they're young, is sometimes they kind of you need to learn the hard way with some things, and you need to go through like that growth. Mm-hmm. You can't just go right out of high school or college and be like, okay, I'm ready to settle down and have a family. I mean, sometimes that works for people, but then sometimes that same person freaks out when they're in their 30s because they missed out on all the fun of their 20s and they go have a midlife crisis and stuff. I feel like I had enough, single type fun, and I'm fine with
me too.
Being me. We still have fun. I mean, we still go on trips together without kids and stuff. That's one nice thing about having broken homes, is that you have the other parent that can watch the kid if you go out of town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you are going to have a kid, have it with somebody you're not going to stay with, because they know they only have to have that kid half the time.
Oh my God.
My number 10 is that her personality made her even prettier. With most hot chicks, pardon my non-PC language, with the most beautiful women, a lot of times they look gorgeous and then you get to know them, and by the end of it, they are kind of ugly and you find things that annoy you and you see it's all just looks. And I feel like a lot of pretty women or good-looking people in general maybe just like rely too much on their looks and they don't really care enough about their personality. They can be shallow. They're judgmental of other people. There's all kinds of problems there. And so with her, the difference was that she was a pretty humble, personable person that was fairly well-rounded. And so that made you prettier as opposed to uglier. Which, when I first saw you, I figured, oh, this is going to be another shallow broad. I just want to hit it and quit it.
That's not funny.
All right, guys, that about wraps it up. We hope you all have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Yes, it is corporate. Yes, it is kind of silly in some ways. But if you do have a significant other, it's at least a day to
Get anal.
think about, what she said. Think about them a little bit more than you usually do. Oh, gosh.
If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We put out videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Hope you guys all have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Go!